Okay. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Shalom, Om Swastiastu, Namo Buddhaya, Salam Kebajikan. Ladies and gentlemen, before we start our webinar, first of all, let's thank to the Almighty Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala. Because of His blessing, we are able to join this meeting. Secondly, salawat and salam also delivered to our Prophet Nabi Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, who has guided us from the darkness into the brightness. First, let me introduce myself. My name is Feni Amber Prameswari. I am undergraduate of Faculty of Law, Gajah Mada University. Here I am as your moderator in this webinar. I would say thanks to all of participants for all who are watching this webinar from our YouTube channel, Kanal Pengetahuan Fakultas Hukum UGM. I wish wherever you are stay safe, keep healthy, and enjoy this webinar. And you guys, if you have any questions, please insert your question into the comment section below our video. Soon I'll read your questions and will be answered by our speakers today. After all the speakers explain their presentation, after the speaker explain their presentation. Thank you and happy watching. Ladies and gentlemen, our webinar today is about the future of law and business post-pandemic COVID-19. Our interesting discussion today is just because we all know about pandemic COVID-19 disrupts, I think almost all of aspect in our life. Especially today, we're gonna discuss about international policy, international relation, international trading, business and economics. And we have invited our speakers, very expert in our topic today. This is it. First is Professor Sigit Riyanto. Say hello, Prof, please.
Halo, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Okay. The Honorable, our Dean of Faculty of Law, Gajah Mada University, he will discuss about international policy and relation post-COVID-19. Next, we have Dr. Siti Hafsyah from University Technology Mara, Malaysia. She will discuss about COVID-19 impact on environment and mental health. Say hi, Miss Siti Hafsyah Idris.
Assalamualaikum and selamat sore everyone. Okay, thank you for the invitations. Thank you to Prof. Sigit.
Yep.
And thank you.
Okay. The third, we have Bu Dr. Helni Mutiarsih from Telkom University. She will discuss about financial technology post-pandemic COVID-19. Say hello, where is Miss Helni Mutiarsih?
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Selamat siang semuanya.
Selamat siang juga, Bu Siti.
Ya, terima kasih Pak Dekan. Terima kasih semuanya.
Last but not least, we have invited our lecturer, expert in business law. Here you go, Miss Irna Nurhayati, M.Hum, LL.M, Ph.D. She will discuss about investment and international trade amidst pandemic COVID-19. Hello, Miss Irna Nurhayati.
Hello, Mbak Fani as the moderators, and hello for all of the speakers and also everyone who watching this webinar.
Hello, Miss.
Thank you, Bu Irna.
Okay. Thank you to all the speakers for attending our discussion today. And you guys and I have to be grateful because we're gonna have a new perspective, new knowledge from the expert. And every speakers have around 20 minutes to explain the presentation, and directly all speakers can share content to us. Yeah. So let's start it. First, we have Professor Sigit. Hello, Professor Sigit. How are you today?
Fine, thank you, Helni.
Thank you for attending our discussion today. It's really such a privilege, such an honor for me being moderator in this webinar, because there you go, our Ph.D, expert in international law. Okay. How's this, Prof, about international policies and international relations during COVID-19? Because we know COVID-19 has already affected a large number of countries. Many countries applied lockdown policy, and what's the impact to our country, and what policy should be implemented to Indonesia? So, okay, Prof, your turn.
Okay, thank you, Fanny. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Peace be upon you. Ladies and gentlemen, the speaker, Pak Wahyuyun, Ibu Helni, Professor Siti, and also the audience of the today's seminar. It is a great honor for me to be participant and also have the opportunity to share my opinion concerning the international policy and relation post pandemic COVID-19. I think we know that now almost all of the states around the world suffer with the COVID-19, and to date there is no state that claiming that to be successful in combating COVID-19, and we believe that by the outbreak of the COVID-19, it would change our life, change our way of communication, and probably also would change the method of work and also the method of communication, and also many aspects of our life would be changed significantly. So, since in this session, I have been invited to deliver one crucial topic, namely international policy and relation, to make easier for me to share my opinion. This is summary of my presentation. First of all, I would like to share with you concerning the factual situation, what really going on around the world. And then after the factual situation, we know that now the driving force for around the world to change the structure, to change the policy, and to change the framework. And then before we move to the approach for the future, we should making an assessment for the existing policy and existing framework we apply around the world, especially since the Second World War. And then the last one, I would like to share with you concerning the relevant need for the future framework from the legal and policy point of view. Okay. Let's see with the factual situation today. If we look into the factual situation today, we could identify that now the COVID-19 outbreak is a global catastrophe in history. In the history of mankind, there are many pandemics from time to time, and alhamdulillah, scientists, medical doctor, and also other medical workers successfully combating the pandemic from time to time. And we hope that today scientists, researchers, and also medical worker also need of our support, because their work, their role is very significant in combating the COVID-19. As we know that the outbreak of the COVID-19 was identified in Wuhan, China in December 2019. And now the virus has spread rapidly due to the very high rate of human to human transmission, and also causing tens of thousands of deaths, not only in China but around the world, in Southeast Asia, in America, in Europe, even in Africa and America Latin, all of them suffering with the COVID-19. And also the outbreak of the COVID-19 causing a significant disruption to the global economy and even the way of life people around the world. All of countries who are suffering COVID-19 now have a problem, have a crisis in the economic, and also people around the world must make an adjustment on the way of life. Likewise, today, if there is no COVID-19, probably we would organize our seminar in UGM or in Telkom University or even in University of Technology Mara, and we have to have the opportunity to physically arrive at that venue, and we have a face-to-face meeting and share the idea with audience directly. But due to the COVID-19, we have to change our way of life, to change our way of doing our job. And also the corona pandemic will shape global health governance. To date, we have international health regulation initiated by the WHO in 2005, the last international health regulation. But I think this international health regulation as the basis framework for health governance need to be evaluated, because now we have to consider our national security policy, global trade relation, and including how to reshape the future of international system, including legal and policy. And it is a very significant change in our life. And then we have now that there is a new driving force in which the international community need new international framework. Why? First of all, the need of the new international framework driven by the need of working together and for resilience and sustainability. Meaning that actually from time to time, there is a high commitment among nations, among humankind and among states, how we could together resilient and we could together sustain. Even there is a pandemic, likewise as I have mentioned earlier, from time to time, pandemic happen in our life. And the COVID-19 has already affected large number and becoming or making it as a global threat. Thus, if the danger is global, then the response should be global too. So the pandemic of COVID-19 is a global problem, spreading around the world. So it is a commitment or it is an understand around the world that if it is a danger from the global, then the response should be global too. And then in order to preserve the rule-based international system and to protect human beings around the world should seek and redesign the new legal framework and policy to cope with the new normal life. Today, we should be familiar with the new normal life, because people around the world is talking about what is our new normal life now. Previously, we don't wearing mask, but today when we are going out, we have to wearing mask, or even we should washing our hand from time to time, and it is our new normal life. Today, most people are working from home. Likewise, in our Faculty of Law, today is only me and my secretary who are attending in the office. But in a normal life previously, all people are working in the office. They don't need to design their work in a normal life. But I believe that in the future, or starting today, we have to design our work, our activity with quote-unquote new normal life. That the need of new international framework and policy. And then if we look into the existing policy and legal framework, we should understand that the past and present international framework in terms of health, environment, trade regulation are the product of experience deliberation, and even a compromise, because it is expressed and written and also elaborated in international legal instrument accepted countries around the world, be in international trade regulation, be in international trade, or be in international or even in environmental. And if the global community call for subsequent significant revision, then there is a need of political will from the country around the world in order to achieve an effectual reform. With the pandemic of COVID-19, I believe that now political leader, statesmen, and member of parliament around the world are thinking about how to make a new effectual reform concerning the regulation, concerning the policy framework in order to cope with the new situation. And also, to defeat an epidemic, people need to trust scientific experts, citizens need to trust public authorities, and countries need to trust each other, because the pandemic could not be combated by a single state. It needs not only regional, not only national, not only local, but it needs international or even global collaboration. So realistically, we need an evidence-based instrument that can mobilize and coordinate numerous international actors and resources. For example, I believe that scientists, researchers, and also medical worker, medicine worker, and etc. They are thinking about how to consolidate and obtain best practice around the world, which implemented by state or by country concerning health financing policy, its implementation, its impact throughout the phase of COVID-19 response, and how to make a recovery. And all of this experience could be consolidated as a best practice and should be based as consideration in redesign for the future policy and future framework. And when we're designing the basic approach for the future global policy, actually, we believe that the human welfare is the focus of the policy. The human being is the main issue on the main focus of the framework and the main policy. But in order to make our human being safe, to make our human being sustained and resilient, we need legal and political framework. We need a global governance, and we need international commitment, but also we need a scientific approach in order to make a sustained development. That's the simple feature how we approaching the future of our global policy. So when we're discussing about the international challenge and governance today, as I have mentioned earlier, pandemic COVID-19 as an evidence in which it is becoming a global challenge. If it is a global challenge, then it is necessary for a global response. When we need a global response, we need state. Why? Internationally or in the international community, state is the main actor. Of course, there are no non-state actors to be stakeholder, but in designing the international policy, global policy, the state is a very significant actor, and it would be determining the policy, the framework that could be agreed and accepted by the global community. And then we need a global governance and also need international institution with implementing, designing, and facilitating the policy and the framework, and then also implemented at a national governance. So there is a cross-fertilization within the the national governance level with the international institution and shaping the global governance in the future. So that's our idea in the future of global and challenge and governance. So in the last point, I would like to share with you concerning what is the future policy and legal framework. If we would like to design our future of global policy and global framework in terms of legal and also other commitment, there is a very important factor. I would like to at least highlight 4 very important factors in designing the future policy and legal framework. First, there is no single policy sufficient. COVID-19 is an evidence that a single policy is not sufficient. We need health policy, we need transportation policy, we need a human mobility policy, or even we need how we design our financial, economic activity, and etc. So there is no single institution. There should be a collaboration among the existing institutions or even creating new relevant institutions. So the single and centralized institution or organization is not enough. Likewise, when the COVID-19 outbreak in Wuhan, WHO would be questioning by countries around the world whether this single institution with having the mandate from the international community could work efficiently, could make a proper and prompt response, and could designing a proper guideline to the people around the world. And then the today life or the contemporary life is very complex due to globalization. The transmission of COVID-19 mostly due to human relation. But we understand that today we could not confine the human mobility around the world due to globalization, due to economic activity, due to any other life in the new era of globalization. So there is no single institution or no centralized institution, and we need another institution. And then it is a lesson learned from the COVID-19. And there are questions on the response of capability and national, local, and even international level in responding this COVID-19. So it is a lesson learned. And then we need the combination between centralized and decentralized institution, in which the institution is responsible and having the opportunity to make a firm coordination and ensure the prompt response and also timely action. Because without prompt response and timely action, there would be a more difficult situation or even the bigger catastrophe around the world. That is it. And then the last one is that there should be a cross-fertilization between global and national legal framework, especially for the following issue: accelerating the priority research and innovation. There is no claim from individual, from research institution, from scientists, from country that they are individually finding a vaccine for the COVID-19. So it needs in our today life or even in the future, how we make an acceleration for priority research in order to make an innovation to combat the pandemic. Likewise, what happened with COVID-19. And innovation is a must, and research is a must, and it should be expressed in the legal framework and policy. And then also enhancing the global coordination of all relevant stakeholders. When we make innovation, we make research, we make working around the world. There are many stakeholders. There are support from many stakeholders is needed. Without support from the relevant stakeholder, our effort would be failed. Likewise, today, medical doctor, hospital, and also medical work need support from the government. in terms of budget, in terms of situation, in terms of public education, and etc. It should be cross-fertilized among others. Without support from other relevant stakeholders, the situation would be more difficult. And then support clear and transparent global research and innovation priority setting process. The process should be global, not on a local level, but also global. And then the last one is build a common platform for standardized process, protocol, and also sharing for the specimen data and information. We should not confine the information for the sake of the sovereignty, for the sake of the safety of one country or one nation, but global collaboration. We could implement or we could design standardized process, protocol, tool, as well as data and information would be very helpful in combating the pandemic like COVID-19, but also in combating other relevant situation, likewise what is now going on. I think that what I would like to share with you. Thank you for your kind attention. I'm sorry if I take too long time for the other. And now I would like to back to Fanny. Fanny, the time is yours.
Okay, thank you so much, Prof. Sigit, for giving us some such as informative and interesting presentation. And it's not too long. It's okay. Next, we have Dr. Siti Hafsyah from University Teknologi Mara. Hello, Miss Siti, can you hear me?
Hello, yes, Miss Winnie. Yeah, I'm trying to share my slide now. Can you see my slide?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay.
You can see it.
Okay, this is my slide. Okay,
Well, it's nice. Okay, so get on with it. Miss Siti will explain about change the industry's commitment to sustainability and what is it, Miss? What's the impact of COVID-19 to our environment? And we know in some countries, COVID-19 made our environment get better. For example, in Jakarta, because the COVID-19, it reduced the air pollution. So yeah, please explain us. Now your turn, Miss Siti Hafsyah.
Okay, thank you, Miss. Winnie. Okay. Again, Assalamualaikum and selamat siang to everyone. Thank you to Prof. Sigit for your presentation just now. So I'm looking into the environmental part, and also it's actually not to the business part, but it's on the responsibility of the industry and the corporations on sustainability of environment, as well as the other branch of sustainability, which is on social factor, on the mental health of the employees. Why I choose this topic? Because like Prof. Sigit mentioned just now, COVID-19 is a new reality. Okay, so it creates new normal. Not only new normal, but also new norms. So we have to live with this new normal, which we don't have any, we haven't yet experienced this before. About we have to do social distancing, we have to work from home, we have to study from home, legal education also totally changed. So this lesson are being learned not only by a government in Malaysia, but also I think in Indonesia. All government, the world government is actually learning from the lesson what this pandemic can cause to our systems. So because of this new normal, new reality, the government is constituting an emergency unprecedented in modern times. We never had this before. So, and then we want to look how civilization should deal with global crisis. So, sorry. So it's a global. This thing is global, and then it affects different people in different way. Okay? It affects the student in different way. In affect the citizens in a different way. But what I'm looking now is how does it affect the employees and the companies as a whole? Because this is also, it shows the importance of the government. If we can see in the statistic in Malaysia, we have the COVID case is actually 6,819 confirmed case. Recovered is 5,351, and then the total deaths is 112. Whereas the total number confirmed worldwide is actually 4.4 million. Recovered is 1.59 million, and the total death is 302,000 plus 4,200 today. And in Indonesia itself, confirmed positive case is 16,000, recovered 3,500, and then the total death is 1,043. So with this, it increased the issues of for the industry especially. So the industry, they are facing with both internal and also external pressure in the way they have to tackle day to day with the working environment. Because during lockdowns, we call it here movement control order. We have five phases altogether. From the phase 1 to phase 3 in Malaysia is we call it as movement control order. So we have to shut down all the economy, we have to shut down all the industry unless for the essential industry. So employees have to be at home. They cannot go to work. Okay. And then the business cannot proceed. These actually give issues of duty of care, sustainability, and employees' mental health. What does it mean is that duty of care means what the company can give to the employees. When they are not working, will they be paid? And what about shifting the working environment from office to homes? So these are the issues of duty of care. And then about sustainability for industry. How does they want to sustain the business? So these issues actually give impacts to the sustainability of the company and also the industry. So,
sorry, Miss Siti.
Can you hear me?
Cannot see your. No, I can see your
Yes,
presentation.
yeah.
Before I cannot see it. Okay, thank you. Sorry
Okay.
for this.
So, there's two things here. One is on the environment, and another one is on the mental health. So the sudden shutdown of most industrial activities has dramatically reduced air pollution. That is the positive side you mentioned just now. So we can read from the newspaper everywhere. Even the rivers also cleans. Not only less pollution, less air pollution, less water pollution. So because there's no industrial activities. There's no carbon footprint. We have a very, we can say that we have a clean and fresh air now. However, COVID-19 actually pushed plastic waste rise. Okay, because of the food industry. Now we are packaging our foods. We have the online ordering foods. So in order to do this, we need to pack the food in a plastic because that is the most cheapest. Okay, and that is the most easiest one. Okay, and then this is also a report saying that the virus can sustain longer on the cardboard. So because of that, the industry now turning into plastics to wrap the food. Even though almost all the countries, they are pushing for the law on plastic waste, a single plastic waste use. But with the current fuel price now, okay, the industry actually they are contemplating whether they should use the recycled plastic, or because it's too cheap now to get it, so they tend to use the virgin plastics. Okay, they use. So because of that, the industry will reduce more plastic because they don't use the recyclable plastic anymore. And then not only that, we also have these medical equipment such as masks and also yes, now we do have this hand sanitizer, and then the PPE also using plastics. So this actually contributing to the plastic waste, not only to the environment, but we have to look into what are the impact of these single plastic use to marine pollution, the ecosystems, okay, especially to our wildlife, and some of the countries actually being pushed by the industry to hold the implementation and then the enforcement of the law on single plastic use. For example, in Bangkok itself, in Thailand, even though they already implemented the single-use plastic ban, but due to this pandemic, okay, and then the food delivery systems, now the plastic waste actually more than before the pandemic. And we also need to think about the livelihood. For example, in Indonesia, we have this informal plastic waste collector. So these peoples, they are very vulnerable to the new environment, because now with the plastic waste, for example, the mask and also the glove. Okay, Malaysia is the one of the main producer of hand glove. So because if we don't properly dispose this medical equipment, previously is actually meant for medical equipment, but now everyone is wearing masks, everyone wearing hand glove. So it's actually give impact to the livelihood of the waste collector, especially in Indonesia, because they are prone to be infected by this virus, because these plastic are not disposed properly. But they have to work. They have to work because this is their livelihood. If they don't work and then they lock down in the house, there's become another issue, social economic issues. So this plastic piles up as a pandemic sidelines. So we have to fight this pollution. And another issue to employees is on the mental health, because United Nations already warned this pandemic is actually not only on physical health, but it's also affect mental health. Okay, and this mental health is not only for 1 or 2 years. Whenever, for example, this pandemic stopped at the end of this year, mental health is a disease. It is very, very difficult, actually. We can control that, but it can come now and then. So United Nations already warned about this mental health crisis. Okay, not only to the health workers who are actually the frontliner, not only to the patients who are tested positive, not only to the family, but also, of course, in our situation, to our students. Okay, they are so sensitive because we are isolated. We have to do something that we are not used to do. So, and this mental health cannot be, we can cure that. We can give medicine, but the stigma is big. Okay, so in our perspective today, we look at the employees, how employees want to not address, how employees want to actually having the defense mechanism to handle mental health, and how does the company should play the role to help the employees with mental health. How can they identify the employees with mental health? Okay, and that because the isolation, the fear, the uncertainty, and also loss of job, they all cause and could cause psychological distress. So this is a priority that need to be addressed urgently. Okay. Then, so for environment, okay. One is on the management of medical waste. So, in fact, in Malaysia, okay, medical waste, especially from mask, hand glove, from shrink, and also PPE, is increasing. Okay, then the government, the Ministry of Environment and Waters, they are actually trying very hard to dispose this waste properly as according with the law, as well as the International Convention on Basel Conventions. So we need to analyze the management of medical waste, especially in developing countries in Asia, by identifying challenges and the proposing solutions. That one is on the medical waste. Another one is on plastic waste. So plastic waste not only from the plastic waste from the hospital, okay, but also the municipal solid waste from the residents. We do panic buying. Okay, when we do panic buying, and then we ask people to come to send it to our house, they will pack it in a plastic. And then we also buy foods. We order foods from Grabs, from Gojek, and they will pack it in the plastics. So this generates all the plastics. Okay, and then some of the companies, they claim that this is more cheap rather than to use other methods such as box or paper. And then before this, we have this ban on straw, but now they are giving back to the customer the straw. And also, for example, McDonald's, before this, they will ask us whether we want a straw or not. But when we buy online, sometimes we don't realize that we hit the button of cutlery. We need the cutlery, we need the straw. So this actually increase the plastic waste. So we need to change the way we dispose the rubbish and segregate before discarding this waste. And this is the illegal issues because plastic bags are making comeback. They use this as an excuse. The industry use COVID-19 as a whole for any regulations or any guideline that we have, not only in Malaysia, not only in Indonesia, in Asian, but also is happening in US, in Europe. In fact, in New Zealand, I write from the article. In fact, in New Zealand, the industry also asked to hold all the legal measures on single plastic waste. So, for example, this is the fact, if just 1% of the mass would disposed of incorrectly in nature and dispersed in nature, this would result in as many as 10 million mass per month polluting the environment. So we need to incorporate social factors and uncertainty in the sustainability industry. So these are the mechanisms that we can do. Okay, first of all is managing the adverse impact of air pollution. So this is in the long term. In fact, after the COVID-19, what we can do after COVID-19. So we can identify sustainable solutions to prevent pollutions. So the industry, the company need to identify the sustainable pollutions. So for example, the transport sector, okay, during COVID-19, we have clean air because of less motorcycles, less transport. Maybe we can do that after COVID-19. So we need to promote green recovery, sustainable and integrated approach, sound urban environmental measure in developing country, and control global risks. So with all this, we hope that we can achieve both sustainability and healthier life. But to get that, we need to continue to take proactive steps for the sake of environment so that we can have a sustainability of industry and environment. So that one is on environment. But how about the mental health? So actually, many countries now, they are enacting, in the process of enacting emergency mental health legislation. For example, in Ireland, they are now introducing a law on mental health during COVID-19. And in Indonesia, through the presidential decree, the task force team also give a provision on online services to tackle mental health issues. One of the mechanism under the decree, the presidential decree, they give online services to the community to share about their distress, their anxietiness, because perhaps in other countries, in Western countries, mental health issues is about suicide, but in Asian country is on domestic violence. Okay, increase the domestic violence. So employee mental health was marked out as one of the trend for business. Okay, we need to actually give attention to employee mental health issues. Okay, because why significant impact of business sustainability with mental health is in future employees tend to absent from work, and then because this is also will increase cost to deal with this issue, and it will negatively impact the productivity of the company. So the company need to discuss mental health in the workplace and then to identify the issue, but at the same time they must protect the confidentiality of the data. Okay, for example, in Malaysia, we have we follow the guideline of WHO. We have mental health and psychosocial support. Okay? And then for the employer, they need to care for the employee mental health during this time. Okay, not only during this time, but also after this, especially to those who are tested with positive COVID-19. They have to come back because they are very fragile actually due to stigmas of the society. So global leadership and corporate opportunity to share about this issue. Thank you.
Oh, thank you, Miss Siti, for giving us a new knowledge about COVID-19 impact on environment and mental health for us. And the third, we have Miss Dr. Helni Mutiarsih. Hello, ma'am. Can you hear me?
Halo, ya oke.
Oke.
Halo, ya.
Pakai bahasa Indonesia atau pakai bahasa Inggris jadi?
Saya pakai bahasa Indonesia. Sebentar, share screen ya. Dulu.
Oke, jadi hari ini Bu Helni akan membahas mengenai financial technology post pandemic COVID-19. Jadi kenapa? Maksud saya kenapa ini tuh menjadi hal yang penting karena kan mengingat bahwa seluruh kegiatan kita itu kan sekarang justru malah online gitu loh. Justru maksud saya karena semua kegiatan itu melalui online menggunakan sistem daring atau digital, jadi kenapa financial technology itu jadi isu yang penting karena kan malah itu udah cocok gitu loh, udah pas sistemnya online gitu. Mohon dijelaskan Ibu Helni, kesempatannya saya berikan ke Bu Helni.
Ini udah ini belum?
Share kontennya belum masuk sih Bu.
Mana? Dulu.
Nah, ini
udah?
Sudah masuk, beres. Sudah. Silahkan kesempatannya Bu Helni.
Ya, terima kasih. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Selamat sore. Yang terhormat Bapak Dekan Fakultas Hukum Profesor Sigit, terima kasih sudah di-invite untuk diskusi dalam forum ini. Yang terhormat Ibu Siti dari Malaysia, kemudian Ibu Irna Ph.D, dan semua peserta yang mengikuti diskusi ini. Pada kesempatan ini, saya mohon maaf saya dalam bahasa Indonesia, semoga bisa dipahami oleh semua pihak. Kemudian pada saat ini saya akan bicara tentang fintech pasca COVID ya. Ini memang cukup menarik, nanti kita lihat, tapi sebelumnya perkenalkan dulu, nama saya Helni Mutiarsih Jumhur, bidang saya cyber law, saya mengajar di Fakultas Ekonomi Bisnis untuk mata kuliah regulasi ICT, kemudian di Pasca Sarjana Elektro, dan saya juga sebagai Dewan Pengawas Nama Domain Indonesia. Sebelumnya saya ingin memberikan pengantar untuk fintech. Sebenarnya keberadaan COVID ini malah memberikan hal positif. Nanti kita diskusi ya bahwa ada hal yang justru positif dalam implementasi fintech terkait dengan pandemi COVID ini. Namun sebelumnya saya sedikit memberikan pengantar bahwa COVID ini kan sebenarnya sudah mulai terdeteksi dari 2019 gitu. Ternyata sudah sebesar 170.000 terkonfirmasi kena COVID. Dan WHO sudah menyatakan bahwa COVID merupakan pandemik dan diharapkan COVID ini satu pandemik yang belum ada obatnya, sehingga hanya bisa dijalani dengan melakukan social distancing ya. Jadi diminta lockdown, social distancing dan physical distancing karena memang akhirnya harus diputus mata rantai gitu karena penyebarannya sebagai sesuatu yang intangible gitu. Di Indonesia COVID dinyatakan mulai diberlakukan sebagai pandemi itu pada bulan Maret. Saya ingat ketika waktu itu ada 2 warga negara Indonesia yang mengajarkan dansa ke orang Jepang terkena virus COVID, dan akhirnya ini saya mengambil data dari website COVID-19.go.id. Jadi di Indonesia per tanggal 13 ya, ini saya masih tanggal 13, ada sekitar 15.438 dan di beberapa provinsi, dan yang tertinggi adalah Jakarta gitu, dan Indonesia masih menerapkan lockdown meskipun tidak seketat negara-negara lain, karena ternyata di beberapa negara lain sudah ada yang berhasil bebas dari COVID ini dengan melakukan metode lockdown selama 14 hari gitu. Karena tidak saya bahas, yang saya fokus bukan tentang COVID-nya, saya fokus terhadap fintech-nya. Saya akan masuk dulu kepada fintech gitu. Fintech ini merupakan satu istilah yang terdengar beberapa tahun ini. Saya ingat transformasi digital Indonesia itu sebenarnya startingnya di 2002, internet itu masuk tahun 90. Saya ingat riset pertama saya tentang e-commerce itu tahun 96, itu masih belum booming, dan ternyata transformasi digital itu sebenarnya startingnya di tahun 2002 sejak operator diberlakukan non-monopoli. Kemudian berkembang, dan dalam beberapa tahun ini berkembang beberapa teknologi seiring dengan perkembangan teknologi dari teknologi pertama sampai keempat, dan sekarang kita berada pada posisi kelima, dan fintech ini sebenarnya masih posisi teknologi keempat gitu, karena humannya masih banyak. Tapi ini cukup menarik, apalagi kalau kita melihat dari kacamata regulasi. Jadi di sini fintechnya saya tidak akan melihat dari sisi ekonomi ya, saya akan fokus di sisi regulasi, karena regulasi juga nanti ekosistemnya ada yang saya perlihatkan sebelah kanan. Jadi kembali lagi ke sini, fintech ini adalah menurut Bank Indonesia merupakan akronim dari financial dan teknologi. Sebenarnya di regulasi ini kita masih confused ketika kita mengartikan, ketika misalnya kita menyusun draft tentang regulasi yang terkait fintech atau e-commerce, itu kita susah sekali mendefinisikan apa arti dari financial teknologi, karena ini adalah domain yang mix gitu ya antar beberapa pihak gitu. Fintech ini merupakan perubahan gaya hidup masyarakat yang membuat industri fintech makin berkembang. Ini sebenarnya sebelum fintech, manusia tuh kan dulunya sukanya statis, kemudian sekarang manusia tuh sukanya jadi dinamis ya. Kita ingat sebelumnya kayak telepon, dulu kita suka banget telepon rumah, sekarang kita suka banget dengan mobile telepon gitu karena lebih praktis. Nah sama dengan uang gitu, kalau dulu kita suka sekali dengan uang cash, kalau sekarang kita suka dengan uang yang lebih mobile ya, salah satunya fintech. Kemudian kalau dulu manusia tuh statis ke bank lalu menabung gitu dan sebagainya, kalau sekarang manusia membutuhkan kepraktisan gitu. Makanya timbullah transformasi dari teknologi di bidang finansial ini, yaitu fintech gitu. Beberapa contoh bisnis yang tergabung dalam fintech ini banyak sekali sebenarnya ya. Ada pembayaran, ada peminjaman, ada transfer dana, investasi retail, perencanaan keuangan dan sebagainya. Tapi yang paling familiar dari kita adalah pembayaran ya. Nanti saya contohkan kan kayak ada OPPO, GoPay, Dana dan sebagainya. Ini kalau kita melihat bahwa fintech itu mempunyai ekosistem ya. Ekosistemnya adalah regulasi pemerintah, kemudian munculnya teknologi, kemudian investor pendukung, dan konsumen pengguna. Ini sebenarnya mapping dari fintech di Indonesia. Ini saya ambil dari materinya OJK karena memang yang memegang regulasi dari fintech ini adalah OJK gitu. Sebenarnya begitu banyak sekali jenis fintech ya, fintech yang berkembang. Tapi mungkin yang paling kita kenal adalah pembayaran ya. Seperti saya sering pakai OVO nih gitu ya. Kemudian yang paling menarik ini adalah tentang blockchain ya, cryptocurrency ya. Sekarang cryptocurrency kalau di Indonesia sendiri, sebenarnya untuk kasus fintech Indonesia itu salah satu negara yang cukup menarik untuk dijadikan case karena banyak sekali hal yang terkait, terutama nanti tentang data privacy. Ini yang menarik, blockchain ini, cryptocurrency di Indonesia dalam regulasinya masih dianggap sebagai komoditi, padahal sebenarnya di beberapa negara sudah ada yang menjadikan cryptocurrency ini sebagai alat bayar. Makanya di dalam mapping fintech, cryptocurrency ini dimasukkan sebagai mapping di dalam fintech ini ya. Kemudian ini juga ada yang menarik bahwa fintech ini sudah masuk ranah kepada asuransi. Jadi sekarang sudah banyak sekali perusahaan asuransi yang membuat inovasi asuransi melalui fintech, jadi melalui aplikasi, platform dan sebagainya gitu. Dan menarik kalau buat saya sebagai orang regulasi, menariknya karena regulasinya juga very complicated gitu. Kemudian ini juga fintech juga udah masuk ke ini capital raising ya. Sekarang banyak sekali pendanaan melalui crowdfunding ya. Nah ini dasar regulasi fintech ini ada di Bank Indonesia. PBI nomor 18 tahun 2016, kemudian ada di OJK ya nomor 77 2016. Dan ini kalau kita melihat regulasi fintech di BI dan OJK ini juga sebenarnya bentuk regulasi yang inovasi ya. Karena di regulasi kita sebut regulasinya bentuknya masih sandbox regulation gitu. Sandbox regulation itu merupakan salah satu bentuk baru regulasi yang untuk menyelesaikan beberapa inovasi teknologi gitu. Nah, ini saya masuk bagaimana fintech terhadap pandemi Covid-19 gitu. Jadi sebenarnya katanya di tengah merebaknya virus corona, masyarakat mulai beralih melakukan transaksi keuangan. Jadi intinya gini, Covid itu di satu sisi negatif ya, tapi positif ketika gini, saya gambarkan. Dalam posisi normal, salah satu hal yang menjadi masalah dalam implementasi transformasi digital adalah IT behavior gitu. Jadi orang agak stuck gitu ketika bicara tentang implementasi atau adopsi teknologi gitu. Tapi karena COVID ini mau nggak mau masyarakat jadi terpaksa untuk harus menggunakan sarana IT agar tetap bisa berinteraksi gitu. Nah salah satunya adalah fintech ini gitu. Masyarakat itu tetap membutuhkan layanan finansial yang mudah, tetap di tempat, tapi bisa terlayani. Dan beruntung sekali kita sekarang ada teknologi informasi dan adanya fintech yang bisa memuaskan masyarakat dalam hal transaksi keuangan. Gitu. Nah, saya masuk ke fintech dalam perspektif hukum gitu. Kalau dalam perspektif hukum, kita melihat bahwa dalam pembuatan hukum itu kan ada perspektif internasional. Jadi saya melihat bahwa fintech ini sebenarnya merupakan tren global ya. Kalau bahwa hukum teknologi informasi itu nggak bisa dihindari, itu harus direspon oleh negara kita gitu. Kemudian dalam pembuatan hukum juga ada sosiologi dan ada norma, kemudian ada perspektif hukum nasional yang kita jaga gitu. Nah kalau saya melihat bahwa fintech pada pandemi ini sebenarnya agak menyinggung soal sosiologi masyarakat gitu. Kalau saya membaca teorinya Rowan Lessig tentang cyber law gitu, dia mengatakan bahwa hukum IT itu ternyata menimbulkan satu community baru. Dia menyebutnya particularly sosial gitu. Jadi ada satu masyarakat yang mereka tuh tanpa aturan saling percaya gitu. Saya membaca case Facebook ya, tapi saya juga membaca case fintech juga hampir sama gitu. Saya melihat bahwa masyarakat tanpa aturan yang sandbox tuh kalau menurut saya kan aturannya masih terlihat abu-abu gitu ya, karena sandbox tuh kan ilustrasinya adalah kalau kita main pasir dipakai papan gitu supaya tidak kemana-mana gitu. Tetapi bagaimana masyarakat itu trust sekali gitu, termasuk saya gitu. Saya sangat trust menggunakan OVO misalnya gitu, saya sebut satu merek gitu. Padahal saya tahu bahwa banyak sekali hal-hal yang tidak dijaga gitu. Nah itu dikatakan bahwa itu adalah impact dari perkembangan hukum teknologi yang memang menimbulkan satu community sosial yang mereka tuh percaya tanpa ada aturan yang harus jelas gitu. Jadi ya salah satunya fintech tersebut gitu. Nah ini kembali lagi saya melihat bahwa pandemi COVID ini sebenarnya kembali ke tadi fokus saya tentang sosiologi, tentang behavior. Saya fokuskan karena fintech ini masuk ranah cyber law. Di cyber law itu ada beberapa hal yang memang dilihat gitu. Nah, fintech ini ternyata fokusnya adalah merubah behavior, IT behavior yang sehari-hari itu susah banget gitu. Tetapi ketika ada COVID ini justru mempercepat proses tersebut. Jadi saya melihat bahwa COVID ini menyebabkan IT behavior orang tuh jadi lebih mudah dilakukan gitu. Dalam posisi normal, misalnya kita mengimplementasikan tentang misalnya e-government gitu, kita butuh proses lama gitu untuk memahami misalnya kayak online meeting gitu ya. Itu kan susah sekali gitu. Orang bertanya bagaimana online meeting, bagaimana melakukan tanda tangan digital dan sebagainya. Tapi ketika di era COVID ini orang mungkin kepepet, tapi malah jadi bisa. Dan saya melihat yang bisa itu tidak hanya kaum milenial gitu. Jadi dari usia belasan tahun sampai 60 tahun tuh sekarang sudah sangat melek IT gitu. Nah ini kembali lagi ke fintech. Jadi sebenarnya saya melihat bahwa pandemi ini membuat fintech ini menjadi lebih berkembang. Saya baca di beberapa artikel bahwa beberapa perusahaan fintech ini naik sekitar 28% ya. Terutama pinjaman pendidikan ya, saya baca tentang pinjaman pendidikan, dan untuk pembayaran itu katanya naik sampai 60% gitu. Jadi banyak sekali orang yang melakukan transaksi menggunakan mekanisme yang ada di fintech gitu. Kalau saya melihat social distancing ini kan sebenarnya menyebabkan beberapa hal yang lingkungan baru yang jadi settle terjadi gitu. Misalnya kita lihat proses pembelajaran menjadi online gitu. Kemudian kayak sakit gitu. Saya juga kalau sakit sekarang saya tanya halodoc dulu, saya ke dokter terus. Kalau sekarang saya punya halodoc yang dia siap 24 jam gitu, dan saya membayar menggunakan GoPay gitu. Kemudian yang paling tren adalah online shopping gitu, karena sekarang ibu-ibu takut ke pasar gitu, jadi mereka menggunakan itu. Kemudian online meeting gitu, dan beberapa proses transaksi ini kebanyakan mereka menggunakan fintech ya. Nah, di samping hal positif yang terjadi di fintech ini gitu, ada beberapa kerawanan yang harus diperhatikan ya. Jadi kalau tadi saya sebenarnya ingin menyingkat aja bahwa fintech di Indonesia tuh gara-gara pandemi ini jadi berkembang sangat cepat. Saya yakin di dunia juga, karena kalau kita bicara cyber law itu kita tidak bisa bicara parsial satu negara. Karena kalau kita bicara cyber law, lokus dari hukumnya itu adalah everywhere gitu. Jadi susah sekali kalau kita bilang itu parsial Indonesia. Jadi kalau saya bilang Indonesia, sebenarnya itu saya bicara tentang ranah yang tidak terbatas gitu, karena terkait dengan beberapa tempat yang include di dalam proses dari terjadinya implementasi fintech tersebut gitu. Nah, ini saya setelah kita melihat bagaimana positifnya fintech dari pandemi COVID ini, kita melihat beberapa hal kerawanannya gitu. Misalnya kegagalan sistem, kesalahan informasi, kesalahan transaksi, keamanan data, kerjasama, penerapan KIC, kemudian rentan terhadap aktivitas pencucian uang, kemudian klausul eksonerasi, kemudian penanganan pengaduan konsumen. Yang jadi concern saya adalah keamanan data privacy. Ini yang jadi concern ketika kita membuat beberapa regulasi yang terkait dengan fintech ya, misalnya ketika kita menyusun PP e-commerce atau ketika kita berdiskusi dengan OJK bagaimana tentang keamanan data dari fintech ini, karena memang secara implementasi banyak sekali kasus yang terjadi di fintech ini ya, karena memang aturannya belum settle ya, posisinya masih sandbox regulation. Nah kemudian ini juga yang terakhir adalah tentang pengaduan konsumen ya, karena di dalam proses IT itu salah satu SOP-nya adalah harus ada penanganan konsumen yang cukup baik. Nah, saya ambil case di Indonesia. Di Indonesia itu tentang fintech itu tadi kalau aturannya memang aturan intinya ada di BI, tapi untuk data privacy Indonesia tuh belum punya undang-undang. Tetapi kita sudah punya di beberapa aturan, ada di undang-undang, ada di PP dan di Permen, dan terutama ini di undang-undang ITE, kemudian di PP-nya, dan Permen ini khusus membahas tentang data privacy, dan kita sudah mengadopsi GDPR ya. GDPR itu satu pengaturan data privacy yang cukup ini ya, kalau menurut saya cukup komprehensif dan cukup melindungi ya, karena prinsipnya adalah person dan resident. Ini contoh dari bagaimana data privacy yang harus kita lindungi, karena ketika kita menggunakan fintech, kita menggunakan alat salah satunya smartphone atau kita menggunakan media sosial yang itu complicated sekali gitu. Jadi kalau saya melihat bahwa fintech ini memang positif ketika ada pandemi, tetapi hal yang harus diperhatikan adalah pengaturan dari data privasinya. Ini sepintas saya perlihatkan tentang pasal yang terkait dengan data privacy ya. Jadi kalau di Indonesia dinyatakan bahwa intinya data privacy itu kan adalah data kita sendiri, dan data privacy itu termasuk adalah alamat kita baik yang baik alamat online dan tidak online, baik yang teridentifikasi, tidak teridentifikasi, itu adalah alamat yang harus dijaga gitu. Jadi meskipun kita biasanya kan kalau pakai fintech gitu ya, kalau kita pakai alat pembayaran fintech, kita pasti akan menggunakan nomor telepon, kita pasti akan menggunakan email dan sebagainya gitu. Itu hal-hal yang kadang-kadang kita tidak lindungi gitu. Rekomendasinya adalah bahwa pertama sebenarnya kesimpulan saya gitu bahwa fintech di era pandemi dan nanti setelah pandemi juga saya yakin ini akan naik terus, karena biasanya gini ya, pola perilaku IT itu jarang menurun gitu. Biasanya manusia tuh kalau pola perilaku IT itu petanya menaik gitu. Jadi saya yakin nanti setelah kita pandemi juga kayaknya orang-orang akan nyaman menggunakan dana secara cashless dan melalui fintech gitu daripada melalui perbankan gitu. Tetapi harus ada edukasi kepada masyarakat tentang fintech ini, terutama tentang data privacy. Kemudian yang lain adalah pemerintah harus menyiapkan regulasi fintech yang lebih mempunyai kekuatan hukum yang mengikat, karena kalau saya lihat pengaturan antara beberapa pihak ini belum merge gitu. Makanya saya menyarankan harus ada harmonisasi vertikal. Vertikal tuh antar undang-undang rendah ke atas, dan harmonisasi horizontal. Jadi dari dari yang sejajar gitu. Kemudian yang terakhir adalah Indonesia harus segera mendorong regulasi RUU PDP ya, karena kalau fintech ini gini ya, fintech ini kalau saya bicara subjek fintechnya ini agak susah dan nggak akan selesai. Tapi saya melihat bahwa harus ada satu concern yang harus jadi perhatian kita, yaitu tentang data privacy. Kenapa saya bicara seperti ini? Contoh pengaturan dari ojek online juga itu sampai sekarang saya pikir belum selesai gitu, karena sulit mendefinisikan ini tuh benda apa gitu, apakah ini transportasi atau delivery gitu. Sama dengan fintech gitu, fintech ini sebenarnya benda apa gitu, siapa yang punya kewenangan, apakah BI atau Kominfo gitu, atau Kemendak gitu. Jadi ada beberapa pihak, tetapi saya selalu bilang bahwa dalam regulasi harus ada fokus yang jadi perhatian kita dalam membuat suatu regulasi. Demikian dari saya, semoga bermanfaat. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you. Terima kasih Bu Helni for giving us a new perspective about financial technology, especially in the future post-pandemic COVID-19. And then we have last but not least, we have invited Bu Irna Nurhayati, Ph.D. Hello Bu Irna, can you hear me?
Ya, halo Mbak Fani.
Okay. Hello Bu Irna, thank you for joining this webinar. Thank you so much, really. And now Bu Irna will discuss about the impacts of COVID-19 on business, international trade, and investment amidst COVID-19. So, what are the impacts, Irna? Now your turn. The floor is yours.
Okay, thank you very much, Mbak Fendi, for this opportunity. And before starting to present my presentation, good afternoon to all of the previous speakers, and also all of online participants. I was given this theme, international trade and investment, and its COVID-19 pandemic to be discussed and to be presented in this webinar presentation. And okay, I would like to discuss this theme into several parts of the discussion. First of all, I would like to discuss about the overview as the background for this discussion. And then the second one, I will move to discuss about the impacts of COVID-19 pandemics into international trade and also investment. And then the next discussion regarding the issues in international trade and also investment in the midst of COVID-19 pandemic. And also would like to discuss about the perspective of international trade organization regarding this issue or measures taken by the governments. And then the last discussion about the approach that needs to be taken by governments and also all of international organizations. So for the first part of my presentation, it's related with the overview, that is the background of the discussion and also the background related with the impact of the COVID-19 pandemic. As has been discussed and presented by the previous speakers, that the COVID-19 pandemic has been creating health risk, but also it's created social and also economic challenges. Because after the spread of the COVID-19 and becoming a pandemic, there are several changes in the society, like social distancing, and then also lockdown, or in Indonesia we call it as PSBB, yeah, large scale of social distancing. And also it making the economic slow down, the growth of the economy. And the impact of the COVID-19 pandemic also impacted in the business or the commerce and also international trade in general, as well as investment. Yeah. So there is a question, what are the impacts of the COVID-19 pandemics in this area, international trade and investments? And if we are talking about the impacts of COVID-19 in international trade, this pandemic has disrupted the normal trade, the normal business activities, which has been conducted by countries in the world. For example, that normally they make the transaction face-to-face, but then companies make the transaction online, as already discussed by Ibu Helni, through e-commerce, etc. And then also this impacted on the close down, the stop of the operational of companies, retailers, and then also impacted on the contractual frustration, and sometimes also make the company collapse, and it's related also with the force majeure event, etc. So as I said previously, that the pandemic of COVID-19 has been slowing the economic growth, not only in Indonesia, but also in Malaysia, and also I think most of the countries in the world. However, as already mentioned by the previous speakers, that in one occurrence, in one happenings, sometimes it is not only unfortunate thing that we can get, but sometimes the the blessing, the learn that we can get from this occurrence. As I said before that, the pandemic already changed the normal trade, the normal business activities between countries, between people. So this related with the development of the e-commerce, the increase of the e-commerce, either business to consumers trade, and also business to business commerce or P2P commerce. So we can conclude that the pandemic of COVID-19 can be said as a blessing in disguise, that it is also provide the opportunity to develop more about e-commerce, and also the other lesson that we can learn, that it is also the development of the digital technology in around the world. So it's about the impacts of COVID-19 in international trade in general. And if we take a look at this impact from the perspective of international trade organization, that is WTO context, World Trade Organization context, that the impacts of the pandemic of COVID-19 also happening in the trade that is divided into two types of trades, trade of goods and also trade in services. And related with the impact of trade of goods, if we take a look at the forecast of the international trade by the WTO, that the international trade has been declining, especially international trade related with the complex global value chains. For example, related with the commodities like electronics and also automotive products, which is need engagements not only from one country, but more than one country to get the finished product. And then related with the trade in services, might be this area of trade related with services would probably the most directly affected by the COVID-19 pandemic. And it's influenced or impacted by several policy undertaken by the governments, for example, by restricting transport not only domestically but also internationally, and also restriction related with the travel to other countries, etc. So the services trade looks like get the most impact from the COVID-19 pandemic. And we will look further about the discussion related with the approach that has been undertaken by many countries in the world to settle, to handle this pandemic. There is an issue from the framework of international trade law, because in handling the situation, the member countries of WTO in the context of WTO framework, they undertake several trade policy, for example, as export restriction, and then also some import facilitation, and also some export facilitation. And for example, for the export restriction, some countries made some limitation related with the, for example, exportation of medical appliances, yeah, and also some food commodities, food products, and for the import facilitation, for example, countries make some trade policy to provide facilitation for importing medical products, for example, face mask, and then hand gloves, yeah, hand soap, also hand sanitizer, and also some medical appliances, yeah. And this restriction on this policy, trade policy, give impacts to the, for example, the unpredictable trade, yeah, for the other countries, and also provide some impact related with the non-transparent of the policy, etc. So those are several issues, yeah, and generally this trade policy also give impacts in the disruption of global supply chains because of the, for example, temporary ban to some commodities from other countries, or some export restriction to other countries. So this policy already disrupted the global supply chain. And then also it depressed the production by the producers in many countries. And also this lead to the misdirect scarce critical products and also workers away from where they are most needed in the world. And some of the trade policy which are undertaken by the governments in the world, I can provide for you some trade policies that established by Indonesian government. For example, some regulation and also decree issued by the Minister of Agriculture. For example, the temporary suspension of white crystal sugar, yeah, and then also some requirement for labeling regarding some commodities, and then also some temporary excluded trading for vitamin A, and then pro vitamin A, etc. And next, some temporary ban or exclusion for additional of premix, yeah, to wheat flour. So some commodities like wheat also prohibited, yeah, even though only temporarily. And then also the regulation related with the packaging requirement, yeah, in Indonesia. And then also regulation which is issued by Minister of Trade, for example, elimination of import certification for certain products related with the mask, face mask, and then also the PPE equipment, yeah. And also the regulation of Minister of Trade related with the some temporary ban also for several products. And for the services trade, our Financial Services Authority, or OJK, also issued regulation or decree or circular letter related with the prohibition of short selling activities. It is related with the activities in stock exchange or capital market in Indonesia. So the question is whether the approach that has been undertaken by Indonesia allowed to be implemented, according to the international trade law provided by the WTO. So if we are talking about international trade law or international trade rules, the main regulation under the WTO are the General Agreement on Tariffs and Trade, the GATT, and then also the General Agreement on Tariff in Services, GATS. And related with this COVID-19 pandemic, we will also discuss about the TRIPS agreement. It's related with the protection for intellectual property. And then also the SPS agreement, Sanitary Phytosanitary Measures Agreement. And then the TPT agreement, Technical Barriers to Trade Agreement. So those are several main agreements and also specific multilateral agreement which are directly related and relevant with the COVID-19 pandemic. So if we are talking about GATT, the main law in the WTO, the principle of GATT are non-discrimination principle, which is divided into two principles, most favored nation principle, MFN, and then national treatment principle. For the MFN, we can conclude that the main regulation, the main rules are the MFN, that if one country issue treatment or measures, these measures should be provided for all exported nation or exported countries, no less favorable. So that is about MFN. And for the NT principle, national treatment principle, the trade policy issued by a government must be treated to the exporting country no less favorably with the treatment that is given to the domestic product. So that is related with the national treatment. And we already know also that for this main principle, there are exemptions too, included the general exemption under Article 20, which is related with the protection for health, for public health. And then for GATT, we also recognize the non-discrimination principle and also divide it into two principles, the MFN principle, as I mentioned earlier, and also NT principle. And there are also some exemptions related with the GATT service trading. And okay, we are talking about the exemption related with the GATT now. That the WTO member countries is given rights, by the WTO agreements, GATT, to provide protection for public health, as long as it is necessary to be undertaken, So if the legitimate objective is to protect the public health and it is necessary, it can be said that these measures is following or is complying the WTO rules. And another exemption that for establishing these measures, trade measures, the measures must be applied in a manner that does not discriminate. So it's related also with the non-discrimination principle. Because sometimes the state members, the governments, they issued a trade policy which is containing protectionism issue or disguised restriction. And related with the TRIPS, it's very relevant with the measures which is issued by the governments in the pandemic of COVID-19, because TRIPS provide member countries flexible action, to, for example, provide the life-saving drugs, which is available and affordable for the citizen, for the people in the countries. And also the state, the governments can use the WTO compliant compulsory license, or in bahasa Indonesia we call it as lisensi wajib, in case of there are drugs which is unaffordable by the people, and also voluntary licensing. Next, about the SPS agreement, and this agreement is very relevant to the pandemic of COVID-19, because SPS agreement gives the member countries of WTO to establish trade policy, trade measures to protect the health. Can be animal health, human health, and also plant health. However, the measure must be fulfill some requirements that is necessary, to achieve the objective, that is to protect health. And then also the measure must be based on scientific principles, and the measure must be supported by scientific evidence. So those are some requirements. And might be there is a question, how if the evidence is not sufficient? SPS agreement already provide some exception, and it is regulated under Article 5.7 that if the evidence is insufficient, country or state still can establish trade policy based on provisionally adopt measures, SPS measures, on the basis of available pertinent information. For example, information getting from WHO, or information getting from other developed countries, for example. The last agreement is TPP agreement, and TPP agreement is similar to SPS agreement, in which this agreement provide rights to the WTO members to issue technical regulation, standards, and also conformity assessment procedures. For example, we already discussed about regulation of Minister of Trade and also Agriculture related with the labeling requirement. So labeling requirement is included under the regulation of TPP agreement. However, there are also several requirements that to issue the technical regulation standard, country must fulfill the legitimate objective, and the legitimate objective is to provide or to protect the health. So that is one of the legitimate objectives. And if we look these measures issued by or undertaken by the countries according to the WTO rules, whether this measure fulfill, comply with the regulation under WTO, or the measures non-comply with the WTO regulation. We can conclude that WTO rules allow for the government or the state members to issue a temporary ban, or temporary measures in the emergency situations, such as right now we are in the time of COVID-19 pandemic. So according to the WTO, as long as the measures is temporary, the measures is an emergency policy, and then also following some requirement set up by the WTO laws, so the measure can be deemed as compliant with the WTO law. So those are the discussion related with the international trade. And now we move to discuss about the investment. As I said in the overview, yeah, as the background of this discussion, that the pandemic of COVID-19 is not only impacted the international trade, but it has also impacted the investment, yeah, the investment environment, because the investment is, if we are talking about WTO law, is including under one sectors of trading in WTO, that is the service trade. Yeah. So if we are looking at the investment profile in Indonesia, we can see the portfolio investment and also the FDI and DDI in Indonesia. We can see here that the portfolio investment decline, yeah, in the first quarter, and for the domestic direct investment, the DDI, it is increasing, yeah. So different from the portfolio investment. And how about the FDI? FDI here also declined, yeah, in the first quarter. And we can see in the chart here related with the profile of realization of investment in Indonesia under the DDI sectors and also FDI sectors. So for the FDI, since it is related with the international investment, so investment from abroad, it's very significantly impacted by this pandemic. But for the DDI, it is increasing. Yeah. And how about the response that need to be undertaken by the government related with the international trade and also related with the investment? I think all of us, people in the world, we expected that the international trade, the investment can be recover quickly. Yeah. But I think the recovery of the international trade and also investment will be depend on the pandemic itself of the COVID-19, the duration of this outbreak. And unfortunately, we couldn't make the certain forecast for this duration. Yeah. Some researchers said that might be it will end September, but some researchers also said might be it will end the end of June. Also might be this will end the end of this year. So we don't know about this end of the pandemic, but we pray that this pandemic will end soon. Yeah, and then also international trade recovery and also investment recovery will be depending on also with or on the effectiveness of the response of the policy which is undertaken by countries in the world. Not only single countries, as Prof. Sigit also mentioned, that it is not the responsibility of one single country, but it is a global responsibility. Yeah. So we can respond this pandemic by, for example, related with the health area and also related with the intellectual property protection, for example, by doing invention of COVID-19 vaccine, and then government can make the compulsory licensing, and several approaches can also be improved. For example, governments should take the trade measures, trade policy which is comply with the WTO law, which is not discrimination, which is not discriminatory to member countries, and then also improve the trade transparency, for example, by providing notification to the WTO agency, and also provide publication. So this transparency is aiming to provide more predictable and also open market to the other countries. And then also the government can make a trade policy which is not containing protectionism issue. Yeah. So it is also related with the legitimate objective, for example, to protect health, etc. Yeah. And then also related with the investment, I think our governments should maintain the conducive investment environment in Indonesia, and also to comply with the investment policy, yeah, especially FDI regulation or FDI rules according to international law and also international investment law. And then also to more take more action to realize the investment in Indonesia, because sometimes several countries, several international organizations, or several the health people in the world plan to invest in Indonesia, but the realization is not coming yet. Yeah, so that is some strategy that can be undertaken by Indonesia and also other countries in the world. Also, I highlight this one conclusion, as already mentioned by Prof. Sigit earlier. Joint collaboration, joint cooperation to handle this COVID-19 pandemic is very important. Yeah. We can also learn from the global economic crisis happened in 2008, 2009, that at that time WTO and also some international organization undertaken some collaboration, some joint commitment, yeah, to handle the hard situation at that time. So I think it's similar with the condition right now. So collaboration, cooperation, commitment of WTO and also other organization, international organization, is very significant to be undertaken. So I think that's all, Mbak Feni, and also all of the participants. Thank you very much. So back to Mbak Feni as the moderator.
Okay, thank you, Bu Irna, for giving us a very clear explanation of the impacts of COVID-19 and international trade regulatory responses to us. It is so informative explanation about business, international trade, and investment amidst COVID-19. And ladies and gentlemen, now we come to question and answer session. I'll read your question from comment box. So, okay, yeah. I have already had some question here. I have 6 questions, but the first is from Mona Lisa. May we download the presentation files? If we may, where should we go to do so? So yeah, yes, of course, you can download the presentation, and the link is ugm.id/materi post COVID-19. So yeah, I'll type in comment section. The second is from Trianda Kusuma asking about so I have 5 questions. For the first is for all speakers, and the third and some question for Prof Sigit. Yeah, the first question is Indonesia use policy who make the public transportation that can be mobilized due this pandemic. What is your opinion about this policy? And is it safe for economic and social, or make them worse? Because of a big transmission for human to human in public transmission and make this pandemic took so long. So for all speakers, who wants to answer this? The floor is yours.
Okay, should I respond right now, Fanny?
Yes, you can, or you want to me read all the questions, or one by one?
Better if I could respond the question one by one in order to not to miss the point, right?
Yeah,
Because
yes.
there is one question to me concerning the policy of the government of Indonesia in the mobilization of transportation and etc. Right?
Yeah, right. Is it right?
Yeah.
That's right.
Okay, so I would like to respond to the 11 question directed to me. Concerning the Indonesian policy dealing with the social distancing and also quote unquote partial lockdown confined mobility. I think right now there is two extreme approach. One approach, government take consideration on the economic factor. And then the second approach is that the government weighted in the head factor of the people. And now it seems that government in somehow in a limbo situation and has no firm position concerning how to make a clear policy and guidance to the people in Indonesia. My opinion in that, if government would like to issue a guidance or policy, first of all, I think the government to make a holistic and comprehensive calculation and well preparation as well, and also rely on the accurate and valid data and scientific consideration, not to make a policy or guideline to the people with based and trial and error. If it is the case, then the people would be confused, and also the policy that designed and implemented by the government would not be effective because that policy would not be supported by the public, would not be supported by the people, and there is no clear direction from the people and also from the local government how the vision of the central government in designing the policy and what the outcome. It is a very important that the government again take a valid consideration on the valid data and scientific consideration so that the policy that has been designed and implemented is clear and make the people understand what really wanted by the government and what really the interest that should be weighted either by individual and by institutional at national and also at local level. I think that's my opinion, Fanny. Back to you.
Okay, thank you, Prof. Sigit. The other speakers would like to answer this?
May I add some
Yes,
some
you can.
information, Mbak Fani?
Yes.
I agree with Prof. Sigit, who has provided, I think, explanation what government should do related with the transportation mobilization. And I think it's also related with the recommendation or approach that need to be taken by our governments related with the international trade aspect and also investment aspect. One of my recommendation is that the government need to maintain the significant global supply chain to be going. Yeah. So I think transportation is one among appliances or sectors that need to be maintained open and going, because it's will provide impact for the, for example, distribution of goods, and then also the movement from person from one place to another place. But I think a requirement that need to be taken here, that the COVID-19 protocol, for example, to maintain the physical distancing, etc., need to be strict and well implemented by not only the company engaging in this transportation industries, but also related with the people itself, the passengers. Also, for example, the company who send the goods, for example, to other provinces in Indonesia, etc. Why I have this consideration? Because transportation, it will give big impact and also negative impact. For example, distribution of food to other provinces, and then also the food supply chain, the food supply chain will be destroyed by stopping or by halting the transportation industries. That's all. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Bu Irna. Miss Siti, will you answer the question? What's your opinion?
Yes, I send you the message in the chat because I want you to repeat again the question because it's not clear just now.
Yeah, okay. Sorry, I sent it to Bu Irna. So I'll read this. Okay.
Maybe you don't put it in to everyone. Okay, so
Yeah,
I see.
Okay. So sorry. It's just my mistakes.
Okay,
So
it's
yeah.
about public transportations that can mobilize you to this pandemic. Okay, because with regard is Malaysia, even during the MCO, during the movement control order, phase 1 to 3, even public transportation are not allowed to be operated because we want to keep the social distancing, and also we want to avoid the viruses from spreading. But now with the fifth and the fourth and fifth phase of the MCO, we call it as a conditional MCO, public transportations are now allowed to be operated, but with a very strict SOP, standard operation procedures. And the government, especially the Ministry of Health, they are monitoring, especially these procedures from time to time. Okay, that's all for me.
Okay, thank you. Will Miss Helni answer this?
Yes. Yes. Thank you, Miss Penny. I'm agree with opinion Bapak Dekan ya. I think government don't make policy can make the people confused. I think when I watching TV, government always change regulation every day.
Yeah.
I'm very tired to hear that. I think government must be have a standard for regulation about COVID regulation about COVID-19 ini ya. Because situation is very unpredictable and is very difficult. That's it's enough my opinion. Thank you, Miss Penny.
Okay, thank you, Bu Helni. For Prof. Sigit, there's some question for you. The first is, I think the first is, is it possible to create an international institution and legally binding mechanisms such as IAEA and OPCW in the biological area? I put this in here in the column. If you can hear me clearly, you can read in chat section.
Okay, thank you, Fanny. I think the existing instrument that accepted and implemented by the international community today is international health law, international health regulation. Which the last version is from the 2005, and this international health regulation or international health law implemented throughout the world and from time to time in order to respond the epidemic around the world. However, with the outbreak of the COVID-19, we learned that the existing regulation designed by the WHO together with our member and international community, it is not enough and not sufficient. As I have mentioned in my presentation, that a single institution is not sufficient, first of all. And then centralized institution is not efficient. When the pandemic outbreak in China, actually there is no firm identification whether the virus is only developed in China. Why? Because right now, due to globalization, the mobility of human, the mobility of person could not be confined around the world. And it is due to a globalization factor. But at the same time, almost the whole country in the world is suffering with COVID-19. And all of them should take a parallel action at the same time with a timely action and prompt response. And in this context, the international organization could have but only very little, meaning that there should be decentralization of power. When the outbreak of virus like COVID-19, the global need new legal framework, new distribution of power, so that the supranational character of the international institution like WHO should be transformed to the international organization with the high degree of decentralization, so that the activity, the program, the framework could be implemented parallel in around the world without waiting the decision of the central institution in Geneva. Right now, the virus already developed an outbreak around the world, and we could not wait what has been decided in Geneva by the WHO, right? So all of countries should have a clear clear framework that internationally agreed, so that there is a standard of protocol, standard of guidance, and it would be implemented in timely and accurately to the clear problem that develop in each country. I think that's my response. Now, Fanny, thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, Prof. Sigit. There's two more questions for you, Prof. Sigit.
What are the question?
I'll read it in chat box. Wait, just wait. Yeah.
What question?
Wait a minute. Okay. This is the question from Habibullah. Shall there be review on legal instrument, include the international convention, bilateral and multilateral agreements between nations to fit the current way of life and current way execution of tax?
Yes, as I have mentioned earlier, that the existing international regulation need to be revision, need to be transformation, so that in term of power, not centralized on a single institution, but should be decentralized to many international regional organization or regional program, so that the response to the global pandemic would be more timely and more accurate, because not only waiting a single instruction from the single institution in Geneva, namely WHO. And it means that the existing legal framework adopted in the international legal instrument should be amended and should be revised. Is that clear, Fanny?
Yes, Mrs. Prof. Sigit.
Yeah. Okay.
And I think one more question for you. Under the post-COVID-19 consideration, issuing China's strategy as several countries then could effectively tackle the root of our problem or even worsen international cooperation. What he mean about legal standing is legal product that will carry out legal certainty. For example, president decree, etc. Also for all workers, not the specific ones, since all of them are the vulnerable actor in current circumstances.
Okay, thank you. I think right now the global war against the COVID-19 should not be confined to identify where or when the COVID-19 started outbreak, irrespective of the country or the place where the virus started or outbreak. I think the most important thing right now in the global collaboration and trust among the country in order to design new global response to the existing pandemic would be very important. Legal framework is necessary, but legal action in order to decide which wrong and which right is not effective right now. The most important thing for designing legal framework right now is how to invite all of the relevant stakeholders around the world, and how the relevant resources in the world could be consolidated in order to make a consolidated global response to the existing situation. I think that's my response, Fanny. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Prof. Sigit, for the clear explanation. And then for Miss Siti, can you hear me, Miss Siti?
Yes, Mbak Winnie. Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. Do government also has more? Yeah, you can.
Yes. With regard to that question, I saw from the YouTube just now. With regard to that question, actually the government is making a legal actually legal protection for these issues on the moral obligation. Just now I mentioned in my presentation about the presidential decree by Indonesian government, in fact, on how to have a task force to protect the community, and this include issues of mental health in Indonesia, and where they provide online communications and online consultation with the community, not only with the workers, but also to the community at large, especially to local community, remote community, as well as students. And this actually been implemented. If in Indonesia, this is implemented through online, okay, through online platforms such as WhatsApp, and also information through social media, for example, through Twitter. And it also been enforced and been implemented by NGOs called Sejiwa. That one is in Indonesia. So what I discussed just now, okay, the role of the company, okay, to support whatever the government has outlined for them to actually to assist the workers as also the employees. And in Malaysia, for example, I mentioned just now also, we do have the MPVHS, where we have a guidelines under the Ministry of Health, okay, a part of our existing mental health law is also to give psychosocial support to all the citizens, not only the frontliner workers, okay, not only the patient, but to all the citizens, to all the communities, okay. And this actually the guidelines, the mechanism, the legal mechanism is from the government, and then from the government is up to the company actually to implement, to actually to assist, not only to assist the employee, but it is also for the sustainability of the company. Okay, it is a moral obligation, as I mentioned just now, is a duty of care of the company to take care about the mental illness of is it okay, Miss Mbak Weni?
Is it okay? Yeah,
Is it clear?
it is
Yes.
okay.
Okay, thank you.
The next question is for Bu Helni, Miss Helni.
Okay.
Hear me? Okay. Adakah akta perlindungan data itu perlu diperhalusi semula mengambil kira? Ini kayaknya sepertinya bahasa Melayu ya, jadi kayak agak bingung juga bacanya. Maksudnya secara halus diperhalusi semula mengambil kira, penggunaan fintech semakin kompleks dan teknikal, berikutan banyak isu yang timbul melibatkan tentang hak. Maksudnya penanya ini tadi sudah saya cantumkan di kolom pertanyaan bahwa what he means about diperhalusi is a review to identify needs amendment or modification. Itu Ibu.
Customize, diperhalusi itu what namanya diperhalusi?
Itu
simplifikasi ya.
Perlu dimodifikasi peraturannya atau amandemen gitu loh Bu maksudnya.
Oke. Thank you. Jadi apakah perjanjian ini kayaknya perlindungan data pribadi itu perlu dimodifikasi gitu ya. Nah, sebenarnya sih harusnya seperti itu gitu. Tapi tren dunia sekarang data privacy itu ada dua kubu antara Amerika dan EU gitu dengan GDPR-nya gitu. Dan saya melihat sekarang negara itu dia memodifikasi tapi tidak memodifikasi secara customize gitu. Jadi kayak saya melihat Indonesia ketika dia berkiblat ke GDPR, dia benar-benar mengikuti GDPR secara penuh gitu. Kalau saya sebenarnya kan melihat gini ya, ini kan fintech ini kan masuk ranah cyber law gitu. Nah, kalau saya balik dulu, kan sekarang tuh hukum tuh ada di dunia konservatif dan di dunia cyber law. Kalau di dunia konservatif, ketika kita akan memodifikasi suatu regulasi itu lebih mudah karena batasnya lebih jelas gitu. Jadi misalnya kayak aturan perlindungan anak gitu, atau misalnya perlindungan pekerja gitu. Itu customize di negaranya tuh bisa lebih mudah untuk diadopsi dan dimodifikasi. Tetapi untuk hukum IT itu agak kesulitan gitu. Biasanya apa ya? Karena ini batasnya borderless gitu. Jadi biasanya satu negara tuh ketika dia membuat suatu peraturan yang terkait dengan cyber law, itu biasanya dia mengadopsi hampir semuanya, hampir plek-plek gitu. Jadi padahal sebenarnya ketika kita melihat suatu peraturan, kita juga harus mempertimbangkan aspek sosiologis gitu. Jadi kalau saya lihat nih, Indonesia kan sekarang contoh kasus Indonesia ya, karena salah satu negara di ASEAN ini yang belum punya aturan tentang GDPR PDP itu Indonesia. Kalau Malaysia setahu saya udah punya ya, Singapura gitu. Nah, Indonesia tuh saya melihat di beberapa peraturannya tuh masih ada konsep data privacy Amerika, dan kemudian di turunannya menggunakan aturan yang terkait data privacy yang berkiblat ke GDPR gitu. Tetapi saya sekarang bisa melihat arahnya ketika saya melihat draft dari undang-undang PDP, itu memang kiblatnya udah Eropa kontinental banget gitu, dan itu sudah sesuai dengan karakter gitu. Jadi kalau kembali lagi ke pertanyaan apakah bisa dimodifikasi, kalau untuk cyber law saya merasa agak kesulitan karena sebenarnya yang diatur itu adalah human dan teknologi, dan dominan adalah teknologi gitu. Itu jawabannya kalau menurut saya. Terima kasih.
Bu Helni,
Oke.
I have a question. Saya ada soalan untuk Bu Helni berkenaan dengan data privacy. Berkenaan dengan data privacy ini, di mana secara keseluruhannya, not only in Malaysia but also in Indonesia, I think is also happening because when we do online counseling, we do online consultations. Some of the info of the patient are exposed actually, because I do not know ethically I think it's wrong because when we want to do the research on mental health, for example, we pass the questions to the society, to the community, but this will affect actually the data privacy tadi tu. Tapi hak seseorang kan, the personal data. So what do you think about this? Because kalau mereka pergi ke hospital, mereka memang dilindungi oleh medical act contohnya. Tapi sekarang kan pandemik ini terlalu banyak survey yang dilakukan terutamanya secara online ini. Jadi di manakah hak mereka, bagaimanakah hak-hak community ini dapat dilindungi oleh hukum-hukum yang ada not only in Indonesia but also in other countries.
Every country, bagaimana? Okay. Typical question because data privacy is very complicated. Jadi memang seperti sekarang, sebelum saya masuk ke ini data medis, karena in Indonesia data medis itu termasuk ke dalam 8 data strategik. Jadi ada di PP 71 2019 tentang penyelenggaraan sistem elektronik. Jadi ada 8 data strategis yang harus dilindungi, dan itu memang jadi wajib gitu dilindungi. Salah satunya data kesehatan gitu. Nah, seharusnya berdasarkan PP tersebut, data dari pasien itu harus dilindungi. Tetapi Indonesia sendiri gitu belum mempunyai satu mekanisme yang protokol yang jelas gitu. Bagaimana cara si masyarakat itu bisa mempertahankan hak pribadi tersebut. Sebenarnya kalau dalam pengaturannya Indonesia tuh sudah mulai punya beberapa peraturan tentang protokol perlindungan data pribadi, dan tetapi yang jadi masalah protokolnya itu tersebar di mana-mana gitu. Sementara edukasi kepada masyarakat tentang data privacy juga masih rendah. Saya yakin di beberapa negara juga masih banyak kesulitan mengedukasi masyarakat tentang bagaimana pentingnya data privacy. Nah, saya sampelkan di Indonesia gitu. Misalnya Indonesia itu sudah punya protokol tentang data privacy, misalnya di Undang-Undang ITE. Bagaimana seorang diri itu dia harus bisa memproteksi data dirinya, atau di PP 71, atau di Permen, atau di PP 80 tentang e-commerce. Bagaimana seorang pembeli itu harus bisa melindungi data pribadi. Nah, tetapi kesulitannya masyarakat itu tidak paham apakah data pribadi gitu. Padahal sebenarnya kalau kita merujuk ke GDPR, data pribadi itu adalah nama, alamat email, alamat rumah gitu. Bahkan ada 12 data sensitif yang harus dilindungi. Salah satunya ibu kandung. Nah, kembali lagi ke tadi data kesehatan. Itu untuk data-data yang bersifat umum, kita sudah punya protokolnya, tetapi sayang masyarakat belum begitu awareness gitu terhadap hak dirinya untuk dilindungi gitu. Jadi masyarakat tuh masih menganggap ngasih nomor telepon, ngasih nomor KTP, ngasih nama ibu kandung itu hal biasa aja gitu. Nah, kemudian sekarang dengan posisi pandemi ini banyak sekali data-data kesehatan yang diambil dalam bentuk big data gitu ya. Saya pernah diskusi apakah big data itu sebenarnya diperbolehkan atau tidak. Kalau saya, ini pendapat pribadi saya ya, kalau di ranah hukum itu saya bilang masih melanggar protokol dari data privacy gitu. Saya melihat beberapa data dari perkembangan COVID ini menggunakan big data analysis gitu dengan misalnya sentimen analisis dan sebagainya gitu. Tetapi orang-orang big data mengatakan bahwa kami tidak melanggar protokol karena ada SOP teknologi gitu. Ada SOP teknologi yang kita tidak langgar. Tapi kalau saya kaitkan dengan regulasi existing, Undang-Undang ITE, PPSTE, e-commerce, saya merasa ada protokol yang dilanggar gitu. Nah, kalau ditanya bagaimana, itu yang memang government tuh harusnya memiliki satu solusi. Kalau menurut saya solusi yang terbaik adalah pemerintah memang sudah punya peraturannya, tetapi edukasi kepada masyarakat gitu bahwa dia harus bisa melindungi datanya gitu. Karena memang saya yakin di data kesehatan ini masyarakat tidak tahu bahwa data kesehatan diri yang ini sebenarnya kalau di Indonesia sendiri merupakan data strategik yang dilindungi, digunakan untuk kepentingan dari beberapa hal gitu. Jadi kalau saya melihatnya seperti itu. Jadi saya sendiri agak confused gitu kalau ditanya ini gimana perlindungan data pribadi di masa pandemi karena dipakai untuk analisis data dan sebagainya. Kalau saya melihatnya seperti itu gitu. Jadi kembali lagi kesimpulannya bahwa protokolnya sudah ada sebenarnya, tinggal masyarakat tuh diedukasi gitu. Sebenarnya masyarakat tuh harusnya dikasih hak untuk boleh nanya gitu. Jadi misalnya diperiksa gitu, terus boleh nggak? Kan sebenarnya penggunaan data itu harus seizin pemilik ya. Penggunaan pencabutan data itu harus seizin pemilik data dan tertulis. Kalau di Permen di Indonesia tuh penggunaan data tuh harus tertulis gitu. Nah, mungkin itu harus diedukasi oleh pemerintah gitu. Dan mungkin kalau misalnya masyarakat yang misalnya ketika dia memeriksa kesehatan, terus ada opsi bahwa data saya tidak boleh dipublish. Nah, data-data yang tidak boleh dipublish itu tidak boleh digunakan. Kalau dan itu menurut saya protokol penggunaan data itu protokol internasional, bukan parsial satu negara. Itu Bu Dr. Siti.
Terima kasih, terima kasih banyak Bu Helni atas penjelasan panjang lebar. Karena saya fikir, saya terfikir ketika pandemik ini, many things are mix up. Sepertinya mereka itu diketepikan dulu kerana ini pandemik, ini emergency. Kita kena proceed with life. So kebanyakannya seperti regulasi yang sedia ada itu seperti di hold kan gitu.
Yes.
Pada pandangan saya. Yes. Dan juga ketika kita membeli fintech, ketika kita membeli online, we buy food online, we order essential online, we tend to keep our informations of our cards right? Our debit card or every credit card in our phone, so that we can repeat recurrence the purchase for the next time. So this is, I think, this is also involve fintech and also data pribadi saya. Okay.
Yes.
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 Okay, Pak Helni.
Okay, thank you.
Oke, luar biasa sekali penjelasannya dari Bu Helni dan pertanyaan dari Bu Siti. Selanjutnya ada pertanyaan dari untuk Bu Irna. Ya, apakah kebijakan pemerintah yang merugikan investor asing di masa pandemi dapat diklaim sebagai indirect expropriation oleh investor asing, padahal kebijakan-kebijakan tersebut diajukan atas dasar ekstrem urgensi dalam kategori public health seperti PSBB yang membatasi gerak perekonomian? Bagaimana Bu Irna?
Oke, ini bahasa Indonesia atau Inggris?
Bebas Bu, mau pakai apa? Sepertinya karena pertanyaannya bahasa Indonesia mungkin lebih cocok pakai
bahasa Indonesia saja. Oke. Ya, terima kasih untuk saudara penanya. Pertanyaannya bagus sekali. Saya kira kalau terkait dengan FDI, karena FDI juga untuk penerapan dari protection untuk investor juga merujuk juga pada misalnya non-discrimination principle, kemudian juga ada protection for aliens, kemudian juga ada prinsip-prinsip yang lain yang itu juga merujuk kepada adanya pemberian proteksi yang equal, yang setara begitu antara pihak investor asing dengan Indonesia. Nah, ini mungkin juga kondisi yang juga dihadapi tidak hanya di bidang investasi, tetapi juga international trade tadi, bahwa memang di tengah pandemi Covid-19 ini, di mana ini juga tidak hanya Indonesia, tapi juga di negara-negara lain pun itu juga hampir mengalami semuanya. Dan sehingga kemudian justru investasi asing itu tidak bisa dilaksanakan dan sebagainya karena terkendala kondisi-kondisi yang memang semuanya mengalami, gitu. Tidak hanya satu negara Indonesia. Nah, kalau memang suatu case ini adalah sesuatu yang general dihadapi oleh semua countries, dan kemudian juga tujuan untuk melakukan treatment tadi kepada FDI tadi atau kepada investor asing tadi adalah dengan tujuan yang saya katakan mungkin tujuannya adalah baik gitu ya, karena juga dalam rangka untuk melakukan dan juga supaya comply dengan kebijakan yang dilakukan oleh government, dan ini secara general juga dialami oleh semuanya. Saya kira kemungkinan kalau misalnya ini menjadi sengketa dan sebagainya, ya, misalnya merasa dirugikan dan sebagainya, nanti arbiter itu akan menilai apakah memang treatment yang diambil ini bisa kemudian dikatakan bahwa itu memang yang terbaik, artinya misalnya dasarnya adalah adanya force majeure dan sebagainya, jadi tidak dalam rangka untuk menguntungkan pihak host country begitu. Nah, saya kira kalau kemudian ini dipersoalkan ya, kemudian ini dibawa ke ranah hukum, saya kira arbiter akan melihat dari sana. Jadi pertimbangan-pertimbangannya apa, kemudian juga policy-policy yang dikeluarkan oleh government apa, kemudian apakah ini adalah policy yang reasonable dan sebagainya. Tetapi yang jelas memang government untuk membuat sebuah policy itu harus mempertimbangkan pada prinsip-prinsip yang tadi sudah saya kemukakan tadi. Jadi as long as itu sudah diterapkan sesuai dengan prinsip-prinsip yang melingkupi pelaksanaan dari investasi asing itu, ketika terjadi overmah, ketika terjadi force majeure, ini bisa dijadikan sebagai landasan begitu atau argumentasi untuk kita host country itu membela diri begitu. Jadi saya kira itu. Terima kasih.
Oke, terima kasih Bu Irna jawabannya yang sangat jelas. Maybe 7 questions is enough for us now. Thank you for all speakers for the clear answers. And then, ladies and gentlemen, we finally come to the end part of this seminar. Before I close our webinar, I would like to say thanks again for presenter and all of the audience for active participation. And I would like to ask for closing statement to every speakers, dear Prof. Sigit, Miss Siti, and Bu Helni and Bu Irna.
Okay, thank you very much, Penny. I would like to thank for the organizer, especially from the Jamiat or Academic Quality Control Unit from the Faculty of Law UGM in initiating this webinar. And hopefully what we have done, what we have discussed in this afternoon give also a contribution to the academic discourse and as well as to the public education, so that we hope that in the future we would have a better situation and better world, even though we have to be well prepared on the other problem likewise pandemic. Thank you very much to everyone for contributing to our Faculty of Law Gadjah Mada University.
Hey, thank you, Prof. Sigit. So, who's next? Irna, maybe?
Okay, thank you for the opportunity, Mbak Fanny. I think I would like to send my gratitude to all of the committee for giving me the opportunity to be one of the presenters and to discuss related with international trade and also investment in this discussion. And I think, as I said in the presentation, that the development of digital technology, the development of online seminar like the webinar today is very important to be developed in the future. Even though we hope that the COVID-19 pandemic will end soon, but I think the good development related with the online seminar through webinar and other forums, I think needs to be maintained, because we can share our knowledge with other scholars, not only from Indonesia and also from other countries like Miss Siti. It's very happy to see you and to know you and to engage with you in this seminar. So I think the global collaboration with other legal scholars from other countries, from other universities, is important to be maintained and to be developed well. That's all, Wendy. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Bu Irna. So, the next is, I want Miss Siti to have.
Okay, thank you. Yes, thank you, Bu Fanny. Okay, so first of all, I would like to thanks to pihak Jaminan Mutu Quality Insurance of the Faculty of Law, UGM, and then also to Bu Mylinda, Dr. Mylinda, for inviting me to propose me to join this seminar, as well as to Prof. Sigit, Prof. Dr. Sigit, the Dean of the Faculty of Law, UGM, and also to the organizer, as well as the host, and Bu Fanny also, as well as to Bu Irna, new knowledge, new knowledge, because I think this is a good platform in a new normal now, because usually it's quite difficult for us to fly to other countries, right? To have this conference, it's quite impossible for us. Normally, we will have to discuss months to get this seminar, and then we think that seminar is not sufficient enough. But now with the new normal, yes, it is. It can be materialized. Okay, we can do it. We can plan it within 1 week, and then we can have a lot of discussion. For example, for today, not only from legal international law, but also from fintech, from data privacy, and also from environmental aspects. And at first, when I saw the topic, I thought, no, I'm not expert in business law. I do not know about investment law. But when I read the term of reference from the narasumber, yes, the scope is very wide. So we can talk anything about the pandemic in the scope of the business. So I think this is a good platform. Okay, it's a good, a positive side of the pandemic, I think. New knowledge, new experience, new friends from Indonesia. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Miss Siti.
Thank you, Miss Siti. Last but not least, Miss Helni, have any closing statement?
Oke, terima kasih Mbak Penny. Pertama saya mengucapkan terima kasih banyak kepada Pak Dekan Prof. Sigit. Sebenarnya ini saya baru pertama kali nih di forum Fakultas Hukum, jadi saya merasa pulang nih. Saya sarjana hukum yang dari tahun 2000 terperangkap di Fakultas Teknik gitu. Jadi saya senang sekali tadi banyak pemahaman yang luar biasa dari Prof. Sigit. Saya jadi merasa pulang gitu. Jadi saya spesial thank you juga buat Mas Wahyu nih ya. Terima kasih. Semoga kolaborasi kita bisa berjalan dengan baik gitu. Dan ada satu hal yang luar biasa seperti tadi dikatakan oleh Bu Dr. Siti. Saya suka sekali dengan paparan dari tadi Bu Dr. Siti dan Bu Irna, bahwa forum ini sebenarnya menjadikan saya tuh melihat bahwa pandemi ini positif gitu. Saya pas dikasih saya sebenarnya tahun ini lagi bikinnya mesin learning sebenarnya tentang artificial intelligence, itu udah tahap kelima teknologi. Terus sama Pak Wahyu dikasih tema tentang fintech ya Pak, saya baca-baca lagi. Saya malah melihat bahwa loh kok ternyata pandemik ini maksa orang jadi harus belajar. Bahkan ada teman saya usia 65 tahun, mula-mula dia teriak, waduh saya harus Zoom tiap hari. Lama-lama dia jadi sangat IT minded ya. Ternyata IT behavior tuh bisa di-push lewat pandemi ini. Jadi ini tema yang sangat menarik gitu. Dan terakhir buat Bu Dr. Siti, saya senang sekali bisa bertemu di sini dan mungkin bisa kolaborasi dengan Malaysia, karena sebenarnya meskipun kita tetanggaan, banyak paradigma yang kalau di bidang IT itu, kalau paradigma hukum konservatif mungkin banyak perbedaan, tapi kalau paradigma cyber law itu sebenarnya tiap negara tuh bisa saling melengkapi gitu. Karena kalau misalnya saya ditanya negara mana yang paling menarik untuk bidang cyber law, saya bilang nggak ada, karena tiap negara masih
unik,
menafsirkan sendiri, unik. Jadi data privacy itu Bu Dr. Siti, semua negara masih nafsirin gimana, mau ngapain, harus seperti apa gitu. Jadi unik gitu. Mungkin dengan kolaborasi ini kita bisa saling mengisi gitu, dan mungkin bisa menafsirkan bareng-bareng gitu. Jadi confuse-nya nggak sendiri-sendiri gitu. Terima kasih kepada Bu Dr. Siti, Bu Irna, tadi menarik sekali protokol-protokolnya, saya jadi banyak belajar. Mbak Feni, terima kasih atas bantuannya. Mas Wahyu, terima kasih. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Salam. Terima kasih Bu Helni. Bu Weni, jika dibenarkan, diizinkan, apa bisa saya ingin memberikan wish sebelum terlewat? selamat berpuasa dan juga selamat menyambut Lebaran pada minggu hadapan.
Bentar lagi. Lebaran di rumah. Lebaran di rumah tapi.
Ucapan yang sama.
Tapi Indonesia akan menyambutnya di bulan Disember ya, untuk itu perayaannya, celebrationnya. Saya terbaca di dalam.
Malah kita nggak tahu.
Oh itu liburnya Bu, libur bersamanya.
Liburnya.
Ya.
Oke.
Lebarannya tetap 24.
Tapi tidak boleh, tapi tidak bisa bersama ini kan apa namanya?
Pulang kampung. Pulang kampung.
Family apa? Family. Tidak boleh pulang ke kampung dan tidak bisa bersama family, right?
Ya.
Ya betul.
Sama
tetapi online itu bersama tetapi melalui internet.
bersama Webex ya. Webex dan Zoom.
Makanya itu adalah hal positif dari pandemi kan. Silaturahmi aja virtual.
Virtual, ya, semuanya virtual. Itu duit rayanya juga virtual.
Oke, lanjut lagi ya. So from our webinar today, we can conclude that from Prof. Sigit, there is no single policy sufficient and no single institution. Whatever the policy, participation from the whole community is important. And the second from Dr. Siti Hafsyah, healthcare facilities have an explosion of medical supplies and we need the management of medical waste. Now is the time to promote of green recovery, sustainable and integrated approaches, sound urban environmental measures in developing countries and measures to control global risks. And from Bu Helni, in fintechs, people need education about fintech, especially in data privacy and regulatory for legal protection and increase IT behavior. And from Bu Irna, I think it's almost the same with Prof. Sigit. Whatever the policy, participation from the whole community is important. Joint collaboration and commitment of international organization is really important. Okay, so that's the end of part of this webinar. But before we are leaving this meeting, let us take photo from this webinar. Okay.
Okay. Thank you, Fanny.
Okay. Hey.
I purposely wear a batik from Jogja. So my husband asked me, "Who want to see you with your batik?" But I said I'm having a online conferencing with UGM, so I need to wear batik from Jogja.
Mas Yuyun mau itu enggak endorse.
No. We will send the batik.
Batik from Mas Yuyun.
We have the dean here, Ibu Siti. We already have the dean, so I think the dean will approve that.
But I love shopping in Jogja.
Yeah, don't worry about that. Pak Dekan will be okay.
No worries about that. I love batik. I love Indonesian batik because it's very comfortable to wear.
Okay. Pak Dekan.
Thank you so much. No. Don't give me anything.
Okay. I'd like to thanks so much to the speakers for informative and interesting presentation today, and to the participants for very active for very active participation. And I would like to say sorry if I have anything wrong. Hopefully, the webinar will be beneficial for everybody. I mean, so this is the last time. Yeah, thank you, Bu Irna,
Selamat berbuka.
Siti, Kak Dekan, dan Mas Mahyun.
Oke, terima kasih Bu.
Ya.
See you, Bu Siti, next time.
Terima kasih Pak Sigit.
Ya.
Terima kasih Bu Helni dan terima kasih Bu Irna.
Terima kasih.